Christianity had an enormous impact on the founding of the United States. Even at the beginning of the colonies, like Massachusetts and Virginia, we can pinpoint that Christianity played a large role in both colonies. When you look at why people initially had come over, specifically when you look at Virginia, there was an idea that there were vast resources that had been untouched, that Europe, specifically England, wanted to get their hands on, even though the Spanish and Portuguese had been in the Americas way before, and they had even established missions and colonies here where religion played a large role. The French as well in Canada had already set up missions and had interactions with natives, and the purpose was to convert these natives to God. And that was, you can even look back at Christopher Columbus and some of his writings, that he was looking to convert these natives. But when you look specifically at the English colonies that would become the United States, you can look at education, you can look at the governments of those colonies, the leaders of those colonies, and pinpoint that their religious foundation and their beliefs played a large role in the establishment of those areas. We can stem a lot of what we have in our government today, whether in the Constitution or the idea of separation of church and state. You can pinpoint and trace that back to some of the initial beliefs of the Puritans. The idea that the separation of church and state was significant because a lot of times you might think because they were so, Puritans were so religiously devout, that they would want to link the two. But in Mark Knoll's book, for class, it talks about the fact that they wanted it to be separate. I think the other part of this that's significant is the incredible leaders that these people had, like Cotton Mather and John Winthrop, and some of the really important people that played a role in the church that were reverends or pastors or priests. And what I find very unique is that the fact that in the southern colonies you see a large number of churches and people that are still linking themselves to the Church of England or the Anglican Church, but yet there's no bishop here in the colonies. And even though the initial southern colonies, a lot of the people were a little worrisome about that, they eventually started to look at, well, we don't necessarily need a bishop, and we don't want a bishop from England to come over, an archbishop, because then we will have to abide by what England wants of us. So you see, there's obviously a difference from colony to colony, and then you can see the links of religion to the Puritans that first came over, and even the people from England initially that had come over in the various colonies, as playing a huge role in what the colonies would become before and after the American Revolution.